Let me know when you're recording.
Oh, well, the thing has started.
Oh.
Yeah, let's
God,
blunder into this one.
Yeah, I'm not a podcaster or a YouTuber, so I'm not going to say hello to the audience. But hi, audience!
Hello,
All right,
audience of our friends.
somebody who stumbled onto this video at like 2 in the morning or some shit.
Don't watch random D&D clips at 2 a.m.
Who's this elf
Carlson?
fraud? Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, just put the fucking "it's really over now" face.
It's never been more over.
It's never been more over than it is now. Don't worry, we'll fix this in post.
Yeah, we'll fix it in post, but... Anyways, yes, the intro music is playing, and I suppose I should give a quick, not recap, but, rather introduction. So, when we last left Aluvian, and only Aluvian because all your friends and your mom, your boyfriend, went to go talk to Joe Manganiello Dragon, you and all the NPCs decide to hop on your motorcycle and or car and travel to the Wandering Emporium in order to get some help in the approaching fight against Zariel. Vroom vroom. Let me get some fucking ambience from YouTube. YouTubeception.
Just pump in that swords and sandals screaming.
Yeah.
Of the core.
The fucking Conan the Barbarian, like, hellish shrieks.
Yeah. Oh, nice
All
and
right.
cozy. Hold on, let me...
I'll turn it down a little
bit,
because this is louder than the music.
It is.
Alright. But you and your companions have, well, I don't think you've slept since that night you spent, before going into the temple. Wait, no, the night after you got the sword. So, it's a very tiring, like, drive across the desert. And when you see the flags of the Wandering Emporium popping up in the distance, it almost feels like you've reached an oasis of sorts. You almost feel relieved to be back in this, well, place of commerce and unfiltered capitalism. So.
The glorious, glorious sight of many sheets of metal being suspended in the air. Like paper lanterns on Chinese New Year.
Yeah. And upon your approach, you see a couple figures you recognize right away. Of course, there's Mahadi, ever the host, who seems to have supernaturally predicted your approach and is kind of just like waiting outside the Wandering Emporium, hands behind his back. And at his side is actually Feanor, who, upon seeing you on the motorcycle, just kind of like shrinks behind Mahadi.
Oh, shrinks behind him, you say? Okay.
Yeah. Just trying to blend in.
Alright. Is Kasha with me?
Kasha is either in the car or on your motorcycle with you, depending on what you'd like.
Well, that's mostly just for the image, the visual portion, as my screen is now fully cluttered with tiny Feanor behind Mahadi and Varus the Skull and Kasha and Aluvian. It's like a visual novel up in here.
Dating sim.
Okay.
But yes, you do eventually approach, and Mahadi has his, like, trademark charismatic grin.
Alright.
Lady Aluvian, it is good to see you.
It's nice to see you too, Mahadi.
Yes. Although it has only been a day since you and your companions were here last, if memory serves.
Perhaps for you. We took a quick excursion to the abyss. Time flow, yada yada.
Yes. That Den of Chaos is, well, quite vile.
Inhospitable. Yes. I'm glad we are of the same mind.
Yes. It does not compare to the exquisite beauty of Avernus. He gives you kind of like a knowing look, like knowing it's not really that good. But
Oh, I love taking in the beautiful sights of the metal crucifixion trees and the volcanoes and red. A lot of red. But there are nice parts to it, like your fine establishment. I wish more of the place could be like you, to be honest.
Well, if the Blood War ever gets won, then, well, maybe Avernus will return to what it was before this whole thing started.
There was a state before.
Yes. You see, when our great Lord and Savior Asmodeus first created the Nine Hells, Avernus was a bit of a honeypot, as it were, for mortals. To tempt them down here.
See, you have all what... You have all of what's left of the honey.
Mayhaps. Although I do hear Zariel and Bel's fortresses are quite beautiful, although I've scarcely been myself.
If you're the type of person who likes a human skin gallery, then yeah. Top notch.
Quite. Now, I see that most of your more reliable companions are not here. Should I assume they're elsewhere, or did something more unfortunate transpire?
I'm afraid your lizard problem is still your problem. He's alive and attending to other business. I would be with them if my business here wasn't so important.
Well then, we should probably go inside and talk business then. And one other thing, I know it sounds cliche at this point, but your father wishes to speak with you.
And the sun rises, and the sun falls. Well, not here, but where I'm from, it does that. Can't think of a constant thing here in Avernus, much to more's the pity.
Well, warfare, but I suppose that even that gets kind of grating after a while.
Yeah, and it's... Can't make poetry out of just warfare. You need stories within that. It's more of an instrument itself than a subject matter. Oh well.
Yes. Well. And I imagine this conversation is happening as you're, like, walking towards Infernal Rapture.
Sure. Let's go with that.
Alright, I'll say Kasha and Feanor are going with you, and your other NPCs are just kind of, like, buying whatever supplies they think is necessary for what's coming up. So, let me just get some, like, you know, kind of spa vibes.
Yeah.
God.
Get some vibes.
There's a spa playlist on Apple. I'm gonna do that.
Just keep the background image as the Emporium. I don't have... There doesn't seem to be good art for the Infernal Rapture.
Yeah, there's really not. Plus how I've described it, like, it changes every time, so...
Oh, yes.
Yeah. He leads you into the familiar waiting room, and actually past the door where you visited the beach that one time. Yet fond memories, even though the day afterwards was anything but. And eventually leads you to what looks like kind of a meeting room. So yeah, there's like a couple of fairly comfortable looking chairs, and it's kind of like an oval table, and he sits at one end of the table, and Feanor kind of sits beside him.
Aluvian will wink at Feanor, and then take a seat opposite Mahadi.
Right. Kasha will sit in between you and Feanor on that side. She kind of she gives a look to you after you wink at Feanor, and it's like, ugh.
I don't want any of that.
Good. Do you want me to start making passes at your mom? I thought not.
She doesn't seem like the happy-go-lucky sort.
No, she's a force of nature, for better and for worse. So I will not be doing anything of the sort.
I thought so.
Mahadi is just watching this unfold with like a smile on his face, like, I see. So, you mentioned business, Mahadi says. Do you care
Yes.
to... Yes.
Yes, I did, and I would care to elaborate. Well, for one, I do need to speak with my father, and, Aluvian sort of just, like, behind her back, does, like, air quotes, to no one.
Put herself.
Yeah, just for herself. And then starts tapping her foot on the ground. But I also do need to discuss business with you.
Alrighty. And I assume this is not any sort of contract or deal, so I should not bother with proper paperwork.
I don't believe it will be necessary, no.
Alright. Then what do you wish to hear?
Well, what I wish to hear is you agreeing to get back at Zariel permanently.
Kind of contemplative look crosses Mahadi's face. You mean you wish me to send the people under my disposal to go and challenge her?
In essence, there will be more than just your people. There will be our people. If things go correctly with the others, Nanako et al., we'll have a force of Abishai at our disposal as well.
Let's see. While I wish I could agree right away, I must contact my employer. He may not be incredibly happy about all of this, but let me ask you one thing. If you do manage to take care of Zariel, who will be in charge of the new Avernus?
It's not going to be Bell. Let me just put that fear aside. You will not have to meet the new boss same as the old boss. It will probably not be Tiamat either. Definitely won't be Archon the Cruel. He's going to have a rather unfortunate accident involving a woman who can turn herself into a dinosaur.
I see.
And then the Abishai under his disposal will become the Abishai under our disposal.
And that is how you mean to get the army of Abishai?
Well, they respect power, and they won't have their normal leader still around. They'll be scattered, and between all of the people gathered there, one of them may have a force of will to sort of slot into Archon's position, as it were. The lizard has quite the taste of power now, it seems, and he wishes more institutional sort of power vibes, as it were. That's one guess. Really, I just hope that enough of them see us as strong and follow us.
Well, I pray you are right then. And if they do manage to kill Archon the Cruel and they get that hand, well, if they bring it to me, I'll reward them greatly. But that is neither here nor there. Very well. I will give you the troops at my disposal at the Wandering Emporium, which is to say, everyone here that is selling stuff, they will be at your disposal.
Right.
I only ask for one thing in return.
Favors for favors. Go on.
Yes. Whoever it is that ends up ruling Avernus, if you so happen to get along well with them, could you potentially put in a good word for me? I am a little tired of only trading here in Avernus.
Higher or lower? Deeper layers, or up to the top, as it were?
Up to the top? I mean, there's plenty of business opportunities in the prime material realms. I mean, that's where I met Mr. Tayumi, after all.
What an investment that was.
Yes. And that lizard thinks he can outsmart me and kill me? Well, you can let him think that. I think we both know the truth of that dispute.
He can think whatever he'd like to think, as long as he points that thing at what is mutually beneficial for him to point at. I'm really talking like one of you, aren't I? One of us. I guess.
Well,
Fuck.
just kind of gives you that same, like, lopsided smile. It was a pleasure doing business with you over this, Aluvian.
Yes.
Now, when should I tell my troops to be ready to head out? Soon? A week from now? Today? Right away?
They should be tentatively prepared to move. And... well, hold on, let me check my notes.
Aluvian, I like to imagine she pulls up Grimoire. Grimoire.
Yeah. Black pages start glowing. Let's see. No, that was last week. Let's see. Well, alright, I'll give you more details, and then you'll understand why the time I'll give you is be ready to move soon, but I should probably send you a signal. Probably be easier.
Yes.
There's an easy way for me to signal you.
Alright. Sending, I assume?
Yes, one that doesn't cost me anything. Hello, Feanor. Yes, growl all you'd like. I let you stay with your husband. That's weird, by the way. Are you married? Don't let me make assumptions.
Well, no, not exactly.
Ah,
But in terms of what you humans would judge as social norms, yes, we are married.
well, I wasn't human. I was an elf. And,
Well, humanoid, I should say.
yes. Ah, you should. Alright. But I can contact your fuck buddy, and then we can sort it out. That way. So, Zariel is going to be battling an excursion of demons soon. They've found a way to invade. And with what we've assembled, we think it is an opportune moment to isolate her from the rest of her forces. But we'll need quite a lot of forces to draw her out in the first place and deal with her.
I see. So this is a free-for-all type scenario. My troops will be fighting both demons and devils.
If we get a positional advantage, you should only have to fight devils. The demons may be what I'm hoping for is that Zariel's forces will occupy the demons, while we draw out Zariel and her personal guard, and perhaps we'll have to take out her generals along the way. So if you're lucky, you'll only have to fight devils. If we're unlucky, yes, then we have to fight devils and demons.
Fair enough. Although, if you are looking to strike some of the generals early, I can point you in the direction of one or two of them.
Might be helpful.
Yes. Right. How much do you know about Zariel's generals that she has with her now?
Well, one of them's down a cock. One of them is quite large and ferocious. And two, until very recently, were part of a noble family in Baldur's Gate called the Kravensworths, until they were sent here in an unfortunate accident involving me and my companions.
I see. The two that were human until recently.
Yes.
They are apart from Zariel's main army right now. If you reconvene with your friends quickly enough, I can... well, you might be able to catch them.
Wow.
They are... yes. So just let me pull up the Avernus map real quick. Gotta get this information right. All right. The two of them right now are currently at a location known as the Demon Sapper. Now, I should warn you, the name might sound a little, well, welcoming to a devil such as you, but it attacks fiends indiscriminately. So, you
Oh.
and any of your, well, more diabolically inclined companions might want to stay within a far vicinity of it.
Well, all of them are here. If I have contact with the other group, might be able to just send them to the Demon Zapper. Unless I want to become fried food. Exactly on my to-do list. But I might have a get-out-of-death-free card with Bell. Not entirely sure. As long as he doesn't suspect anything.
Well, if any devil was to not suspect anything, it would be Bell. Bell is more concerned about waging the blood war and keeping his control over the lair to a maximum than he is at politics.
Right.
It might seem otherwise, but he is rather blind to most of the political questions. That's what he has his little servant for. You know the one.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. That bitter little troll.
That is one way to put it.
Several ways to put it. Means the same thing.
Yes. That said, they are fiercely loyal to Bell, so it might not be a clever idea to get them involved if you can avoid it.
Trying not to. Bell's forces could be useful, but they'll be at the battle anyway.
Yes.
If I don't involve him, it's better. And the further away he is from what happens to Zariel, the more control I'll have over fucking him in the ass when it comes to who gets to rule Avernus when it's all done, so... I take it you don't want the position.
Oh no. I am not built to rule an entire layer of hell. I'm just a businessman, and a damn good one at that.
And you don't want to wage a war.
No.
Boring business.
Indeed. But it is profitable, I will give it that.
Till it comes to your front door.
Indeed.
Well, we can find the Kravensworths at the Demon Zapper. And I can rely on you to uphold your end of this bargain.
Yes. You have my word, for as much as a devil's word is worth.
I don't really feel like putting anything to paper, so... Trust. Mutual trust. With a devil.
It is a rare thing.
And you would know the consequences of backstabbing me, so I guess we will have to trust each other.
Yes. Mutually assured destruction.
Yes. Although for me, it would be complete destruction, and you just have to start another family, so, you know. I think you have the slightly easier destruction, so I'm keeping my eye on you, Tiger Man.
Well, I don't think it would go any other way. No. Like I said, your father is wanting to speak with you, but you can feel free to enjoy any luxuries here you wish to, before or after. Just don't keep him waiting too long.
I was considering stopping somewhere first, but I think I won't. If I'm going to keep him waiting, it's not going to be for the thing I would stop for.
I see.
Yeah, don't need to keep the old father waiting so I can bust a nut. Alright.
Well, Hope you have some quality family time. I'll likely be doing the same.
Yes. It's all well and good, please. While you still have time.
Yes. All right. And your meeting with Mahadi has concluded.
Right, I'm walking out of there.
You do walk into the Chestnut Tree Bar, where your father, in quotation marks, is known to do a majority of his dealings. You walk in, and the bar is scant as usual, except for that same piano man in the corner, whom you so affectionately named Sam last time you were here.
Yep.
And
That's
your father just kind of like sitting like there, like he's not doing paperwork this time. It looks like this time he's actually like expecting you. And like you know in Evangelion, like the pose that the dad does where he has like the two hands and he's like kind of got his face behind it. He's doing something kind of like that. And you can totally see his fucked up hand. It's not covering the mustache. The mustache is still like visible. Aluvian.
Father.
Ah, please, have a seat. We have much to discuss.
Of course, of course. Do you mind if I get a drink first?
Of course, suit yourself. Just leave the skull over here. I'd like to talk to him a bit, too.
Shoot yourself. Just don't crush him with that thing. Eyeing his hand.
Oh, don't worry. I wouldn't dream of such a thing. And Varus, the skull, is kind of like eyeing you like, what are you doing? Don't leave me with him, he's insane!
Darling, we're all a little insane. But I don't think he's going to hurt you.
Right, but if I end up a bunch of splinters in the floor, yeah, I'm blaming you.
Well, you can blame me all you'd like, but you're already on your second chance. I don't think there'll be a lot left to blame.
I suppose that's true. And he kind of floats over next to the chair that you're gonna be sitting in. And he's have a hushed conversation with the other Varus that you can't exactly pick up on. All right. The bartender is once more David Alabaster. Hello.
Hello there. I just need something quick. What? I know I've ordered tea the last couple times I've come in here.
Yes.
I'm gonna need something way stiffer. Harder. Taller.
Well, I can get you any sort of normal drink, or I could get you a cocktail.
Yeah, just
Devil's
do a cocktail.
All right. I call this one the Nine Hells. It's quite popular lower down when there's actually cities and not wilderness. And it begins to mix together this strange-looking mixture of a variety of things. You're not quite sure, but it has a deep red color.
Spirits and liqueurs.
Yeah. Same ingredients as the fucking bloodbath liqueur, but like with a couple of extra stuff to make it not terrible. And he tops it with like a miniature floating soul coin on the side. So like instead of a lime slice, it's just like a mini soul coin.
Wow. Am I meant to eat this?
I mean, you can, but I'm not sure a piece of metal would be very tasty.
I didn't know if it was like a confectioner's soul coin or anything. Never mind. Thank you.
Of course.
Then I'll slide over to the table.
We were just talking about you, weren't we? Yeah. The skull says a bit more apprehensively than the other man, with the same exact voice.
This is surreal, honestly. Has skin you rattled bone you?
I mean, just look at him. He's got that mustache and that creepy smile. Who wouldn't be rattled?
You used to have those things.
Yeah, but now I don't.
You still got the mustache.
I do. It's the best part about me.
You've got all the teeth of the smile.
Yeah, but it doesn't have the same je ne sais quoi. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. Stand
Good.
that word.
You can't stand that. Should mention this entire conversation I assume has been in Infernal. Your dad just broke Infernal to like say an elf phrase and then get back to Infernal.
Yeah, and I didn't say I can't stand. I said I understand that phrase.
I see.
Yes.
Well, yes. Your father and I were just discussing your actions as of late.
Well, I've been quite busy.
Yes, so I've been told. Traveling to the Abyss, killing a number of demons along the way,
Oh, I'm
getting
sure
the sword of Zariel.
Yes. Though I didn't get that one. Didn't want to be smote where I stood. Being a devil and all.
That would be wise. And of course, your boyfriend is the one with it, and he would not hurt a hair on your head, I'm sure.
If I told him to, he might.
It's as clear as day that fool is love-stricken with you. I don't think he would.
Well, Aluvian sort of like holds her, like, she's about to say something, but then she just like stops herself, puts one finger up, and then says, "That is what I'm getting at. You're just thinking too mortal woundy, less hurt me."
Well,
if I asked him to, he probably would.
All right. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
That's weird when you do that. But, okay. Takes a long sip of the 9 hells.
It's good. It's a bit of a weird flavor, too. Not sure what is in this thing, but like you can tell if you weren't a devil, this would probably taste like absolute shit.
Is that a hint of Malbosia I taste?
Only the finest.
No. So, I haven't found Elminster yet. I'm sad to say. I did deliver the other 2 letters, but been very busy with the getting the sword of Zariel, going to the Abyss, slaughtering demons, meeting dragon people.
Yes.
Infiltrating large ships, that tracking down a wizard that's just here with no sort of location reference to go off of. I'll try my best, but if he doesn't want to be found, I can't exactly give him your invitation.
That is understandable. From what I gather, he's in this area called the Tower of which should be along the River Styx, and maybe you can run across it on your way out of here. Who knows?
Let's see. We shall certainly see.
He kind of looks like he's in thought for a second. And I can tell your friends aren't here with you.
I mean, I'd consider Rhea a friend. And if I weren't pursuing this Cain angle, I might look into some of the others. But no, the ones Bell assembled aren't here. It's just me.
Yes. Going to attack Archon the Cruel, I hear.
You have very good ears.
Yes, I do. Well, you should be elated to know that they've arrived, and they likely will complete their goal within the next 10 minutes.
Very, very good ears of yours. Oh, father of mine. Wonder why I didn't inherit those. They use so much magic just to get anything done.
Maybe you haven't inherited them yet. Maybe it's a trait found in late bloomers.
I resent that accusation, but... I'll have you know I was blooming very early.
God. I'm sure you were.
You might remember. Oh no, it was 130 years ago. 120. Even I lose track.
And what sort of time is that for ones like us who are, well, nigh on immortal?
Well, it depends on perspective, really. You've been tossing around for 130 years. 120 is quite a long time. But I guess if you've been around since before they called it DR, sort of loses its luster, 120.
Indeed it does.
I'm immortal in name, not in experience.
And there will be time ahead for that.
All of time, if I'm lucky.
Yes. If some poor maniac decides to kill you here in hell, then that's a, well, straight trip to not existing anymore.
Guess I'll just have to do all my succubusing duties upstairs.
Well, you could. But I'm sure there's much greater work for you to be doing down here.
Stare at all the red. It's quite a lot of it.
Yes, maybe an Avernus, but deeper here in hell, there's beauty down here. Don't think all of hell is just something of pain and misery and torment because you've only seen the top floor.
Now, despite being on Bator's sort of desecrated honeypot, I have enjoyed the honey I've found.
And that's a good thing.
I can find more honey by... I can find more honey by going deeper. Well, I'd be a very happy bee.
Yes.
Don't suppose you have
Nice.
green down here? Or blue?
We do. Granted, some of that blue is in ice sheets, but there are fields down here. And luscious blue skies. It's almost like you'll have never left the prime material.
It's the stars.
Yes, but who needs the stars when you're down here?
Indeed. And I can make my own.
Yes. As corny as it sounds, you are one, after all. Now, let me elucidate a bit more why I've asked you to come here. If it wasn't already obvious, you're a smart woman.
Smartest I know.
Yes. He kind of looks at you from across the table. His hand's no longer in the Gendo pose. Now they're a bit more... He's been a bit more animated this conversation. Now, I think you know by now that I'm not exactly your father.
Despite all your efforts, I have pieced together that my real father is the skull.
Yes.
Whatever's left. Although, it's sort of like a simpler version of... Okay, there's this whole sort of philosophical metaphor about a ship, and the skull is one part of the ship, and you have another part of the ship. And I guess you could say that neither the skull nor you are the ship anymore, because you've had all your parts replaced. But that's not exactly entirely accurate for you, is it? But
No.
we didn't teach about people wearing other people's skins in Candlekeep very much.
Yes. I can see why that would be a risque topic.
Silvira had me teaching children a lot of the time, sadly, so don't get to talk about skinwalkers. It's a lot more, here's how you do a cantrip. You just do this. And then Aluvian just fucking, just boops some fucking sparks in the air with prestidigitation. It's like that. Stupid children.
Well. Those days seem to be behind you, and, well, I'm a tad. I think they might have, well, helped you grow into the woman you are now.
If I had anything to say about it, which I don't, my children days wouldn't actually be over. Your ears pick that one up?
Kinda gives like a wry smile. Ah, yes, I did. I just didn't want to bring it up right away.
Us as well.
Trust me, there'll be plenty of time to talk about young Cynthia and Khalil later on.
Drink to that.
Yeah. Varus keeps, well, Varus, quote unquote, keeps, like, eye contact with you throughout that entire thing. Like, he doesn't have a drink of his own, I should add. His side of the table's completely barren now.
All the arm space he can get.
Pretty much. Wow. Seeing as you know I'm not your father, I have to ask. Have you figured it out who it is I am? Have you guessed my name?
I've done some thinking. I've received more evidence. I kept discounting some of the evidence for a while, because I was really hoping I'd get to meet your daughter.
Alas.
Alas, indeed. You're not my father, but in a way you are. The father of my second life. In a strange and divine way. Your name is Asmodeus.
Well, you got that one right on the jackpot. How long have you had these inklings? Oh, don't tell me, I know. But still.
I'm happy to talk about it. But,
Please do.
well, sort of read through the letters you sent, racked my own brain, talked to the fellow you threw out, and is now stuck in a shield.
Old Gargoth's still giving you trouble.
He's not giving me trouble. His whispers of corruption are sort of falling on deaf ears.
Yes. After all, how can one corrupt somebody who is already corrupted?
There is truth to that. And I was able to narrow it down to it had to be someone incredibly powerful and with a talent for mimicry. And I kept hoping it would be Glazia, because I'd rather like to meet her if I could. But I'm aware I'm not exactly the master of my own destiny in this conversation right now, as I'm speaking to a god.
Yes. That is true, but if you wish to meet my other daughter, I can arrange that.
Well, if you're offering, I suppose it would be foolish of me to say no to my god, my new god.
Yes. But I'm afraid that will have to wait until after your little conflict with Zariel is over.
Yeah, how do you feel about all that? It's like, I know what we've talked about, but you're still pretending to be my father. Now that you're my devil father, perspective is a little different, I'd have to imagine.
Let me put it like this. War is what keeps the devil strong. War is what gives the devils life. War is all there is, and war is all there ever shall be. If Zariel were to succeed, that war might come crumbling down. And while you might think it'd be neat to reign over an entire universe devoid of chaos, and don't get me wrong, I have thought about that, the prospect sounds boring, and my devils would grow dull and useless. Honestly, you and your friends are doing me a favor.
Well, then, by all means, let's continue the fighting. It's pretty high on my list, too. Albeit
Yes.
for different reasons.
Yes.
But isn't that the whole point of our little society you've created?
Indeed it is. And don't worry about any hang-ups about Mahadi. I gave him permission to take his people into battle. And if you so wish, I can do the same to Tiamat and anyone else you're eyeing.
I'd rather not have Dad strong-arm my plans into working.
I can respect that.
If we're going to do this, I'm going to do it in the way that makes, well, respect must be earned if I'm going to live here forever.
Just the answer I was hoping to hear.
I aim to please your holiness. Unholiness.
Does Aluvian do a little bow, or what does she do?
yeah, she'll take the tiny little ends of her fucking armored skirt and bow in her seat. Do a little seated curtsy.
Yes. Very well then. After this conflict is over, Bell will likely invite you to some sort of, well, post-war victory. You should attend, you and your friends.
So, don't like the fellow, as you know.
Yes. I believe you have called him a, I quote, big red fuck on multiple occasions.
Yeah. That. To you, even.
Yes. Must say, it is quite humorous to hear somebody speak their mind on the old curmudgeon for once.
For it must get very tiring to have sycophants and suck-ups and power-hungry slugs crawl to your knees and beg and grovel and say all sorts of niceties that doesn't mean anything.
Yes. I know that feeling all too well. And I'm sure you'll come to understand it in time.
Perhaps. I... Still not entirely sure how I feel about the whole thing.
Well. Let me assuage some of your fears. If you stick on this path, well, I believe you'll be able to achieve true greatness in the future. Much more greatness than you ever could have hoped to achieve, working those long nights at Candlekeep or participating in all those failed tournaments. No. What you'll find here is true greatness. Greatness beyond anything any mortal could hope for. Greatness beyond even what the Sword of Zariel has brought to your boyfriend.
Oh dear, I think... this honey is getting rather clogged into my ear. greatness. Well, I'll let that become a block of wax, that honey. What's this about? I'd like to return to the part about Belle. The big
Yes.
red fuck.
Yes, the big red fuck.
His celebration.
Well, if you manage to defeat Zariel, he will likely believe it is time for him to take over the reins of Avernus. As to the truth of that statement, I cannot say.
Well, if I have anything to say about it, he's going to be playing second fiddle. Ad Eternium.
My, that would be amusing. But who would he be playing second fiddle to? Sure,
Well,
everyone's asked you this by now. Who do you want to rule Avernus?
if you think everyone is Mahadi, then yeah. I can tell you some of the same things I told him. Won't be Belle, because I'll stop it from happening. Probably won't be Tiamat, just because I don't think she wants it. Definitely won't be Archon the Cruel, because he's... Aluvian pretends to, like, look at her wrist, dead.
Yeah, he he kind of chuckles right on the dime.
Wow. Really good ears. Is it actually ears, or is it something else?
Well, the Nine Hells is my domain. Everything here is, well, a piece of me. I know everything that goes on here, and a good chunk of what happens outside of here. Perks of being a god and all.
Right, okay. So all the senses.
Yes.
Okay.
Even now I can see Mephistopheles plotting against me yet again.
Oh,
That never gets tiring.
never, huh?
No. It's so joyous to see the, well, abject fear and disappointment in his face when I snatch what he thought was an easy victory away from him.
Don't know him. He won't be ruling Avernus either. Probably not. He might try to. Might try and sneak in. You know, I've never truly thought about who would. I've more been thinking about getting rid of Belle and Zariel. Won't be Zariel, obviously. Sort of thought that vacuum would sort of just seal itself up and I'd deal with that later. I suppose also needs to... Problem is with Zariel gone, that vacuum is rather dangerous. With the demons invading with the window of time. We need to install someone immediately. As soon as she's gone. Fuck. Won't be Belle, but Belle will try for it first. Tiamat is just gonna watch and wait. Like she always does. Mahadi doesn't have any interest in it. Archon's dead. Who else are the big players around here? Not Mad Maggie,
Well.
she's very dead.
Well, if what I've been seeing is correct, then your lizard friend seems rather interested in the prospect. But...
Might be able to last a week.
I doubt he'd even be able to last that.
Gun is scary. Might be able to keep people away from him enough to last a week. Sure he has enough bullets.
Perhaps, but that gun is also tainted with the stench of the abyss, so I fear that this plane would just eat him alive eventually. And by eventually, I mean like a few hours in.
Oh. Let's see. Who else is around?
As you're thinking to the answer of this question, Asmodeus is still smiling, staring at you. You get the sense that even if you were to try to resist, he could easily probe your mind and tell what you're thinking without you saying it.
Major players either refuse to put into power, simply rather not work under. So I guess I'll have to do it.
You really think you could run a place like this?
I think my biggest problem would be not demoting Bell the moment I got the power to do so. Just for fun. My biggest problem would have to be working with him, because I need someone to run the war. Because I sure as hell I sure as all hells think he'd be better at it than I am. He'd need to be under constant surveillance, just to make sure he's not pulling another 6 souls from up there.
Indeed. You know, he'd probably fall into a similar role he is now. Everyone knows he's the one running the more fine aspects of the war, like strategy. Zariel just charges in. But I have to commend her. This whole El Terrell thing has been rather clever on her part.
It's clever, but still short-sighted.
Yes.
It's a large swath of reinforcements, but it's been met with quite a lot of resistance. Resistance that she's incapable of handling.
Quite. Now that you and your friends have the sword of Zariel, well, the stories would write themselves.
Look, I don't truly know if I'm the best fit for the position. However, I think you think that. And that's good enough for me.
What gave you that impression?
Unless you have very strange fetishes, I'm not sure what the point of pretending to be my father for days on end for my amusement would accomplish, unless you thought I was special in some way.
And indeed I do. I have been watching your life ever since Mahadi was sold your soul. It's not every day when you get sold the soul of an infant child.
I bet it's at least weekly, not daily.
I thought it might be interesting to, well, try a little experiment. I haven't manipulated things directly, but no, I've been watching. All that time, I've seen almost all of it. And let me tell you, I was ecstatic when you finally died. You might think it was Belle that put out that hit on you. It was me.
I didn't think it was Belle. To be honest with you, I thought it was Bifrons. Bifrons. Whatever Zariel's fuck buddy from Mount Celestia was called. Actually, I don't think they fuck. Angels.
No, they're too divine and good and pure for all that.
Pity. Can never be an angel. Well, especially now. Don't think I'll go ascending on you.
Yes, I would assume not. I mean, look at you now. Speaking with the king of all devils and the most evil being in the multiverse. Well, one of the people you care about the most is the epitome of all that's good here. I wonder what he would think about all this.
Think a lot of things. Things... probably break his heart. Gonna have to break it anyway.
Perhaps. Maybe you could convince him to stay. He could be an invaluable aid at your side if you so wished. I mean, imagine the might of that sword being used to serve you.
Tell him to stay. The might of the sword is all well and good. But I want him to be happy. And I want him to live his stupid life. Alone on a farm, if he has to be. Whatever life that Belle tried to rob from him, I want him to lead. Rather undevilish of me to not want the power at my side. Call it the last eeks of the goodness of my heart. Wanting to do one last good thing before I lead an eternity of debauchery and war. I know that his life will be better without me in it. So I don't even want him here for selfish reasons.
You would that simply cast aside your own indulgence for that? Oh, I have to give you credit. I was not expecting that response.
If I can do that 5 more times before you next eat breakfast, do I win a prize?
Perhaps.
Well, I don't know what else I can do that would be unexpected. Maybe if I kissed my mother on the lips, that would get me to 2. But she's off talking about the hand, probably, at this point.
Kind of raises his, fingers into the air a bit, as if to, say, hold up, check in. Yes, it appears that lizard fellow has his hands on it. But the hand's not on him yet. Yes.
I've really got to get him out of my hair, then. Or keep him loyal. That won't be possible.
No. Might simply be better to just kill him. Or if you want to spread this mercy you're bestowing on your beloved to your other companions, I suppose that could be arranged too.
I do have a certain fondness for him. And you've heard me say all of this before, but Even if I were to rule this place, I'd still do what I said before. That hypothetical. What would you do if you ruled Avernus? You know, I must not be as clever as I think I am, because you may as well have just been knocking me over the head with a hammer at that point.
Perhaps.
Or whatever your big stick with the... It looks like a mace. Is it a mace?
Oh, the ruby rod.
Ruby rod. That's it. Sorry, every time I think about that, I think about other things. You're... May as well be smacking your ruby rod over the top of my head. But I stand by what I said. I would lead an army of passionate soldiers, not soldiers vying for power's sake. Power coming to those who want it the most.
Yes. And if this approach doesn't work, what will you do then? Resort to the same old tactics that Bell and Zariel have been using?
If it's a disaster, probably, yes. Don't break what isn't fixed. That's not how you say that. Don't fix what isn't broken. However, if I break it just a little bit, we can see if it'll bend. And be stronger for it.
Sure enough. And I am so intrigued to see how this will turn out, if it does like this. Now, some other things. Firstly, when our business here is concluded in Avernus, your father can have his old body back if you wish for him to. Otherwise, you can keep him as that skull forever.
Aluvian ponders for a minute. And then... Besides the arm, is everything in place?
He ponders for a second. Well, yes. Nothing you would find out of sorts, at least.
Right, well, how about my mother? Because she is going to be quite lonely. She was going to be quite lonely, all by herself, after all of this is over. If her beloved Varys were to return... I just wouldn't want her to be disappointed, that's all.
Don't worry, she won't be disappointed. He kind of like waves his like right hand, like he's just like dismissing that question almost.
Alright. I think, as much as I hated the old man, my mother deserves a little bit of her life back. So, yes. Give the body back to the skull.
The skull beside you is like, oh, hells yes! This is going to be the best thing ever! Right. Now, you're the best daughter a skull could ask for.
And don't you forget it. Because I know. Because if this works out the way it should, I'll know.
That's not disconcerting at all.
You're the one who brought this upon yourself. If you hadn't sold my soul for dear old mother, I wouldn't be in this position right now.
Well, yeah, but I don't remember doing it. So who's to say it was me who did it, if I don't remember it?
Well, yes, that's the thing about the ship, isn't it? None of
Yeah.
your parts remember. Maybe when you get your body back, you might remember. Will he? Or are the memories just gone?
Well, depends. Do you want him to have the memories back?
I'll ask my mother about it. It'll be her boy toy after all.
Indeed.
And I suppose the skull should have a say in it too.
Yeah. You're damn right I do. Or I should, at least. It's my body. Yeah.
It's your memories.
Yeah. I mean, like, if I'm anything like that boyfriend of yours before he lost his memories, or like after he lost his memories, man, that's kind of messed up.
Well,
Well, in any case, as Asmodeus says, it appears that Tiamat herself has decided to grace your friends with her presence. And he kind of flicks his fingers, and you see in like a projection of magic, like Tiamat just swoop down in front of your companions and your mom. And also that succubus lady you barely remember from that fight those weeks ago with Helen.
oh, I remember Lila.
Oh, looks like she's going along with your friends to where Tiamat's headed.
That's... Aluvian sort of leans over, like, well, that certainly wasn't part of the plan. Might complicate things a fair bit. You might still have Zariel if that goes wrong.
Well, perhaps. So, I suppose your, well, potential new job might be up entirely to your friends and if they succeed.
Suppose. Although I do have a sending stone, I could give them a little assistance from the sidelines.
Indeed you could. But, like you said before, be better if you were to solve this on your own, so I will not help you anymore with this situation with Tiamat or Zariel. I'll simply sit back and watch.
Yes, please do. I don't need... You don't need two Nepo babies running around ruling your layers of hell.
Well,
Although I hear Glazia is rather good at the whole thing, I'd still like to meet her. Although I suppose I could do it on my own terms if I rule Avernus.
yes.
If she deigns to meet me. Ruling.
Yeah, she likely will. You know, she was mortal once too, just like you.
You had a mortal daughter.
It's a very similar situation to what you have with me. But slightly different. I was a bit more proactive in her raising.
See. Playing old games, are we?
Perhaps. But I stayed a little more out of it than I did with her. I wanted to see if you, well, had what it was made of to rule here without my direct influence. Plus, honestly, I'm glad she came when she did because I was sick of that hag countess ruling that lair.
Oh. I'll be going soon. Make no mistake, I need to figure out how to move forward from here. Just need to clear up a few things.
Yes. Ask any questions you have and I shall answer them.
If I am to take Avernus, rule it as its witch queen, do you... Would Gargoth pose an issue?
As long as he's not free from his confines, I don't suppose he will, and honestly, he seems rather devoted to you to begin with. And if he ever does choose to prove an issue, well, you can just toss him right back to the primordial realm. He'll start corrupting cities again.
Whole cities.
Yes. Part of the reason Baldur's Gate was so fucked up was because of his presence, but, you know, it wasn't entirely his fault. The ball spawn, problem too.
Well, I'll be sure to keep that in mind. Should I ever want to pull my own Elturel down here. Might get them nice and evil for me before I go ahead and decide to pull. Less resistance that way.
Indeed. You know, if everything went perfectly according to Zariel's plan, she would have pulled Baldur's Gate down here as well. That's why Duchess Kravensworth was shooting for the lead role. She would have signed a similar contract.
Suppose it wouldn't have the 50-year clause.
No, it wouldn't.
See, we've been a thorn in Zariel's side slightly longer than she'd care to admit.
Yes. And I mean, nearly any populated city you go to, at least a few of the nobles are, well, in one of us devil's camps or another.
Oh, I'm sure it's like a who's who of devil worshippers in the balls of Waterdeep.
I have no idea.
How does one take Avernus? There isn't exactly a throne. It's just sort of... Do you bestow that power on someone? Is there something to do? Is there an incantation? A special password for the who's who?
Well, I bestow promotions upon devils I deem worthy, typically, but if you want to give it a bit of extra flair and, well, claim it prematurely, or rather, after Zariel's dealt with, well, I'll be in touch.
So just wait until Belle's celebration ceremony, then.
Perhaps. I may be in attendance. After all, I want to watch the look on his face. And also the look on your companions' faces.
Sure, it'll be a great day for you.
Yes.
Do you think a tree could grow in Avernus? Not like those metal crucifixion trees on that hill that Harriman was guarding, but like a proper piece of wood.
Well, if Avernus was under your control, I suppose you could attempt to have one. But the demons might destroy it if you're not guarding it.
Keep it somewhere special.
Yes. Then I suppose you could. You could grow a whole forest if you wished.
Certainly try.
Oh. There's one other thing I neglected to mention before about your responsibilities.
Oh yes,
Make
lay it on me.
Make no mistake, you already are, well, beneath me in every way that counts, and you do what I say no matter what. As an archdevil, it will be, well, more or less the same. However, you'll be in more personal meetings with me than the other archdevils.
Fine with taking orders from you. Yes. Right now, you seem rather interested in what I'll do personally. So, I have no issue with it. I'd be stuck here.
Would you be stuck here? Well, you could leave from time to time to make deals with mortals. You could always project some of your visage onto the Primaterial realm to have conversations, but in terms of truly being able to leave, it, well, might not be as easy. You can, though. It just might leave you open to betrayals and backstabbings.
No, I can't leave my post for long. Long enough.
Well, long enough for a conjugal visit, if that's what you're wondering.
Perhaps. Although, there'll be all the devils in the world. And Glasia, so make of that what you will.
Just taught his man straight to his face about how you want to fuck his daughter.
Would that be... you're saying our circumstances are similar. Would that be divine incest? Although I suppose that doesn't matter. Those two in Dispater? No, not Dispater.
Belio and Fiona.
Yes, those two. Well, that's not incest, but...
Well, it kind of is, but... You don't have to worry about anything.
Alright.
We're all morally evil down here. Save the morality questions for someone else who actually gives a shit.
Oh, it wasn't even the morals. I don't just... Would that be... Would that be something you would look down upon, is more what I'm concerned about. While I'm being open and honest and not obfuscating my true feelings in my heart to play the game with everyone else. Get some candid reactions while I can.
That is very wise of you. No, it would not bother me.
Sweet.
Although I must add, she is a bit of a tricky one. I might recommend watching your back, but what you two get up to in your free time is really up to you two.
Right. If I feel the point of a knife on my back, bring my own.
Yes. The only being I'd be concerned about you consorting with is demons.
Yeah, Gratz is a prick, and none of the others interest me, so... Don't need to worry about that.
There's a reason we kicked him out of here.
He was one of yours. Didn't read that one.
Yes. Yes. Actually, he used to rule the same lair as Belio and Fiona. He liked sex a bit too much, though, so he left.
Dear, it may be a problem, then. No, I'm joking. Although I'm in the longest dry spell of my life. Not really. I've been to the brothel a few times. That doesn't matter.
Bias, folks.
Glad to get that one out of the way.
Yes. Well, I'll grant you one other thing. The Wandering Emporium, until you decide to take action when that demonic incursion happens, should be safe for you. Everything here is under my protection.
See. It's awfully kind of you.
Don't mistake this for kindness.
I know, it
pure
furthers your
practicality.
plots. Yes, yes, yes. Very practical. Just protecting the person that you've been watching for 130 years, just to see what they'll be like when they come down here. Just all part of the practical game. No, I understand you, Asmodeus. Make no mistake.
Yes. And I'm glad you do. You wouldn't make a very good devil otherwise.
Still not sure if I would make a good one, but you seem to think so, so... Now, Alright. I'm trying to think of what other things I could ask you. I've got the trees, I've got just about everything that I'm personally interested at this very moment in knowing. So I guess I'm going to have to ask your ears to turn upwards a little bit.
Oh. What is it you
Children.
ask? Ah, Khalil and Cynthia.
Yes. Khalil and Cynthia. Khalil seems to have reached something resembling adulthood. I know her mother died. She would have had to have been rather young, too.
It takes a certain kind of strength to live in the streets of Kalimport and survive.
Cynthia. She's younger, but I haven't heard anything about Silk in quite a long time.
Make no mistake, she's still alive. Hells, she even uses Cynthia to help to get by. You know how it is. Stealing to survive, using every resource at your disposal.
I know of it.
Yes.
I was born into quite a lot of wealth. Well, not immediately born into it. I was born in a tavern. But thanks to my soul being sold to you, or one of your subsidiaries, I was raised in an exuberance of wealth.
Yes. But you have heard of people struggling to get by. And that's what I'm trying to get at.
Yes. Quite.
You and your daughter's life is... well, I don't think there could be any more difference. At least up to this moment.
So they're both surviving in their own way.
Yes. Although if you're to ask me which one you think would need more assistance should the need arrive, probably Khalil.
That's what I thought too. Cynthia at least has a parent still.
Yes.
This would be a rather unique set of circumstances to happen should I rise. Do you...
Yes.
Do you have any inclination of what would happen to them?
I have an idea. I believe they would both come to resemble you a bit more. After all, your blood is still in their veins, and, well, once you become a archdevil, then they'll have some of your blood in there too.
Not something I feel great about, but it's the price I'll have to extol from them if I'm to improve their lives anymore.
Tieflings can get by good enough regardless. It shouldn't be that much of a difficulty.
The parent they never knew will be changing their life forever without them knowing until after. Just gonna really solidify myself as a shit mother, huh?
Well, you never knew about them until, well, for you that was probably about a day and a half ago. Not to critique you, but I'd say you were already there before this.
Thanks. Well, I go from bad mother, father. Still don't have a good word for that.
Parent.
Parent, I suppose that works. Biological father is what I used in common. There is an Elvish word for it, but who cares? I'm not an elf anymore.
Indeed.
I'm going from bad one of those to one of the all-time worst. Like, I'm going in the history books regardless if this goes to plan. But there's going to be a special mention of how I was also just the worst parent. Worse than the skin you're wearing right now. Well, maybe not. I'm not selling their souls, I'm just making them more like me. And that's really a good thing, isn't it? Alright, I'm less conflicted now.
Oh my god. Asmodeus just gives you a smile. Keep your eyes on them all you like, but keep your eyes off of Avernus for too long and you might find that you've been knocked down a few pegs, so don't obsess over it.
I have one final question for you before I plot out how I'm going to become the most powerful woman on this layer of hell. When did you know that I should do this?
He kinda puts his head on one of his hands and does kind of a thinking pose on the table. What really sealed it for me was that little stunt you pulled with Belle in the signature. That's not one I've seen every day.
It is my stubbornness and my refusal to let anyone else dictate what I should do that convinced you I could do great things.
Yes. Every devil here is ambitious and selfish and underhanded. But it's not every day you see one that is willing to defy authority to call themselves up higher. Most of them simply work within the bounds of authority to crawl their way up, but you see everything, the whole picture. All 9 layers of it. You mentioned wanting to help your friends with Tiamat.
Well, it'd be a shame if I sacrificed all of this and decided to become a hell bitch just to... In part because I wanted them to lead lives after this, for them to have it all snuffed out right here. Although I suppose it would be a fitting devil's bargain, wouldn't it?
Indeed.
And you'd just have my soul for all eternity.
Perhaps. What I'm getting at is, if you wish, I can take you to Tiamat and your friends. Or you can stay here with the other companions.
I am their only line of communication to the other group. If I leave now, sort of a bad situation where we've got to drive back, it'll be a whole thing, then it'll make another 30 vials of poison by the time we all get together, and Zariel will probably be drinking tea out of the skulls of everyone in Elturel, as well as a big demon to boot. Where is Kostchtchie kept, by the way? Might be useful.
Oh, where's Kostchtchie kept?
Yes.
If you travel to the Pillar of Skulls and you take a bit of a left past the giant ice mirror, you'll find it there pretty close.
Alright, Kostchtchie is past the ice mirror. Thank you very much, Daddy. I can call you that now, right? Because you're not my father.
Yes, you can call me that.
Okay. Thank you, Daddy. Kostchtchie's past the ice mirror. Elminster's in the Tower of Go to Belle's final celebration of the whole thing. Rule. Oh, get fucked one more time before that all happens.
Fair enough.
Well, maybe
And
I'll do
as for
the
how
Tower of Urn first. But yes, continue.
As for how long you have until that demon incursion, well, let's just say it's rather slow moving. You have about 3 days.
3 days. Fuck. Right. Just... Okay.
I would try to stay out of the brunt of the fighting, personally. I think the Demon Lord himself is leading that charge, but I'm not quite sure.
It happened to be Yi Nongu, would it?
Possibly. Possibly not. Honestly, I'm half expecting Grotz and one of his awful, awful boats to show up.
Can you ferry that thing all the way down to Belial?
You have 3 days to get all your affairs in order. And, well, in 4 days' time, you might be on the throne.
It's chilling.
Yes, but time really does flow at you fast sometimes. After all, you and your friends have barely been here a month.
What that has been. I suppose we'll meet again in 4 days, Daddy.
Yes. Indeed we shall. Just know I look forward to it.
Aluvian. Well, no longer joking. Nod. Be like a funeral, but one of those happy funerals.
Perhaps. Well then. Best not keep your friends waiting.
Debauchery calls.
Yes. Oh, and do me a favor. Be sure to savor every last moment you have with your companions before all this goes down.
"3 days well spent." Though
Yes.
they can't know.
No, they can't. I suppose that's the beauty of it all. Consider this a final test of sorts. Can you keep this a secret from everyone? And don't worry about the skull accidentally revealing any secrets.
Probably forget everything.
No, he just knows better than to trifle with me.
See. What? Can Grim and Gargoth know? They sort of travel through my head like two travel-y things.
I'm sure they already know.
There is that.
Isn't that right, Gargoth? Don't bring me into this! Don't bring me into this!
I won't bring you into this. I'm sure he doesn't want to see you, and I'm very sure you don't want to see him. And Aluvian is just speaking that out loud.
Why? What would ever give him that impression? Gargoth remained silent.
Just your usual cast out of your position, put into a piece of metal that can only corrupt. It's not something you do with friends. Although, which of my friends would be good in a piece of metal?
You want an honest answer?
Yeah, go for it.
I think it would be really, really, really funny if you turned Arobius into one of those.
Yeah, but he's just an old man. Crazy as he is. I think it would also be really funny to just let him loose. See what he tries to do. With his inferior chaos.
Yes, that would prove quite entertaining. Well, suppose you'll find out in about 3 to 4 days.
Suppose I will. Those 3 days will keep ticking no matter what I'm doing. Better make the most of it. And then Aluvian will turn to leave, but she's going to put one hand on her amulet of the plains and just say, and just think to herself, though I can always steal a day or so later.
All right. I feel like this is a pretty good place to end the session. Unless there's anything else you would like to do.
No, I think this is a good place to end the colluding to run hell section of the night.
Everyone's gonna hear this and be like, ugh. Well, it'll be a test to see if they actually listen to it or not.
Yeah, because I was thinking about putting like a too long didn't watch thing, because people are busy.
Yeah. If you too long didn't watch, throw in some misinformation and just obfuscate like the actual like dealings with your dad. Be like, it's revealed it's Asmodeus, and they discussed things like the future and Zariel and all that. Like, don't go into specifics about like making the deal, so that way people who actually do watch it like gain a bit more understanding. I don't know, and I'd even dare to say like put like a image at the end of the video being like, if you got this far, don't tell anyone else.
And I could just keep this part in the video.
yeah, you could. Hi, anyone who made it this far. Thank you for sitting through this. And also thank you, Sarah, for editing this, even though it hasn't happened yet. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed me doing the Varus voice for like 2 hours. And yeah. I don't know, all I know is that I enjoyed doing this, Sarah. Thank you for thank you for agreeing to do this like mini session.
No problem. It was fun.
Yeah.
Just my game.
Man, mommy issues.
Am I right
Daddy.
or am I right?
Yeah. So the minute you start calling Asmodeus daddy, just made me lose it. That's a power move. I don't know. I digress.
He's the one who compared me to Glazia, so...
Yeah. Good to see. Okay, you can cut it. You can cut the audio here if you haven't already.
Yeah, and Goodbye.
Bye.